To identify whether a person has a mental health problem, you can take into account some indicators and signs. The signs that a person is suffering from mental health problem are changes in behavior, changes in energy rates, emotional changes, changes in social relations, changes in performance at work or at school, physical changes, and lastly is signs of psychosis. Can mental health happen regardless of someone's age? Yes, mental health can happen regardless of a person's age. Mental health problems do not discriminate by age and can affect children, teenagers, adults, and even the elderly. Each stage of life brings its own challenges that can affect a person's mental well-being.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afi Aiman bin Muhammad Zawi, and I'm from Faculty Science and Technologies, and I've been responsible to talk about the selection of the title, which is why do people need to know about the mental health? There are three reasons of the why people need to know about it. Okay, first, individual and community well-being. Good mental health is a crucial aspect in achieving the well-being of individuals and the entire community. Secondly, increased awareness. Awareness of mental health issues help reduce the stigma associated with mental disorder. And lastly, prevention and reduction of adverse effects. Knowing the early signs of mental health problem allows us for preventing measure to be taken, reducing adverse effect and improving treatment outcomes.
What is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act, and helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choice. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. Over the course of your life, if you experience mental health problem, your thinking, mood, and behavior could be affected. Definition: mental health. Mental health is more than the absence of mental disorder. It exists on a complex continuum which is experienced differently from one person to the next, with varying degrees of difficulty and distress and potentially very different social and clinical outcomes. Mental health conditions include mental disorder and psychosocial disabilities as well as other mental states associated with significant distress, impairment in functioning, or risk of self-harm. People with mental health conditions are more likely to experience lower level of mental well-being, but this is not always or necessarily the case by WHO. When was mental health discovered? While diagnosis were recognized as far back as the Greeks, it was not until 1883 the German psychiatrist Emil Kraepelin published a comprehensive system of psychological disorder that centered around a pattern of symptoms, for example, syndrome, suggestive of an underlying psychological cause.
My name is Muhammad Islam bin Muhammad Saleh. My number matric is 1231416. Next, I want to talk about issue of mental health. First issue is bully. How bully can be issue of this project? It's because physical bully, body shaming, and the most famous is cyberbullying. Also, emotion disorder for kids. Second issue is addiction. What we can see addiction can cause mental issue if we excessive addiction. As example, addiction to mobile phone, addiction to alcohol, drugs, and cigarette. Third issue is environment. How environment can cause mental health. Example, we at toxic environment, parents argue in front of their child, and the most important is ourselves. Ourselves is the main cause of mental health if not controlled, such as depression and so on. So, what the solution of the issue? We must first cultivate tolerance and respect each other. Second, provide a channel for students to complain about their problems. Next, for addiction, set a time, for example 30 minutes to play a gadget. Second, find a friend who can guide you toward goodness, invite you to the mosque, and so on. Third, for environment, parents need to know who their children are friends with. Second, ourselves is the most important role to control ourselves from doing evil.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Muhammad Nashrik bin Muhammad Zaidi, metric number 1230541. I will be going to describe the fourth and fifth mental health issue. For the fourth mental health issue is social. Social issues are problems that affect society, such as a lack of self-confidence, harboring taste, financial problems, and conflicts in relationships. These issues can have a significant impact on individuals' mental and emotional well-being, leading to feelings of isolation, anxiety, and depression. It is important to address these issues and seek help from professionals if necessary. Social issues such as lack of self-confidence, harboring taste, financial problems, and conflicts in relationship can be challenging to deal with. Here are some possible solutions. If you lack of self-confidence, try to identify the root cause of your lack of self-confidence. Is it due to a past experience or your current situation? Once you have identified the cause, you can work on building your self-esteem by setting achievable goals, practicing self-care, and seeking support from friends and family. Secondly, it is important to recognize that everyone has different tastes and preferences. Try to be open-minded and respectful of others' opinion. You can also try new things and explore different interests to broaden your horizon. Thirdly, if you have struggling with financial problems, it is important to seek help from a financial advisor or credit counselor. They can help you to create a budget. They can help you to create a budget, manage your debt, and plan for the future. Lastly, communication is key when it comes to resolving conflicts in relationships. Try to listen actively to the other person's perspective and express your own thought and feeling in a calm and respectful manner. If necessary, consider seeking the help of a professional mediator or therapist. Last mental health issue is tragedy. Tragedy, on the other hand, is a form of drama that deals with human suffering. It can be caused by various factors, such as trauma of the past and death of loved ones. The meaning of tragedy is elusive and obscure, but it's ubiquitous to the human condition. Coping with tragedy can be difficult, but there are several ways to help manage the pain and grief. Here are some possible solutions. If you are struggling with trauma from the past, it is important to seek help from a mental health professional. They can help you work through your feelings and develop coping strategies to manage your symptoms. And lastly, coping with the death of a loved one can be a long and difficult process. It is important to allow yourself time to grieve and seek support from your friends and family. You can also consider joining a support group or seeking the help of a grief counselor.
My name is Muhammad Nurfikri Benuruddin. Metric number is 1231426. Next is a research question. In research question, we have 3 questions. Firstly, what is the role of social support from the Islamic community for students facing mental health problem? Second, how does religious guidance in Islam serve as significant support for students experiencing academic pressure and mental health problem? Thirdly, how do the concept of resilience and passion in Islamic help students cope with academic pressure and mental health issue?
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Faiz Akia bin Zulfaka and my metric number is 1230557. Me and my partner Muiz will present to you about our research objective. For our first objective is to determine the ways and strategies used in Islam to provide social support to students with mental health problems. The second objective is to examining the role of religious guidance in Islam as an important factor in supporting students in overcoming academic stress and mental health problems. The last objective is to analyze the concept of perseverance and patience in Islamic teachings and how this can be applied to help students cope with academic stress and mental health problems.
My name is Muhammad Al-Muiz bin Zulkifli. My number metric 1231832. For the example 1, studying social support strategies in Islam, such as the formation of mutual support groups based on religious values for students with mental health problems. For the example 2, investigating the role of religious guidance in Islam as a critical element in the provision of counseling service and spiritual guidance to help students cope with academic stress and mental health. And the last one, for the example 3, analyzing the concept of perseverance and passion in Islamic teaching through studies or research and interview with religious experts with the aim of developing a guide to the practice of perseverance to help students overcome academic stress and mental health problems.